Teste, som, teste. Teste, som, teste. Não tá pegando áudio? Alô, alô? Alô, alô, alô? Teste, teste. Alô, alô, som. Alô, alô, alô. Teste, som, teste. Tá funcionando. Vamos lá. Return to the Grace.
Do you know if the pod system has stops along the way?
It does not. We are arriving at the track terminus now.
Ah, esqueci de fazer uma coisa. Esqueci de você. Ixi, dormiu? Tô quase. Então vai dormir. Vem cá, Bonis. Aqui a coberta pra você. Pronto, Bonizinha. Foi expulsa, Mimi. Vem cá, tem lugar pra você também. Vem. Vou jogar o jogo introspectivo.
Um jogo o quê?
Introspectivo.
Tá.
O jogo de religar uma nave. Grace. Vai, Mimi, sai daí. Ih, saiu. Não tem
Vem
nada.
dormir aqui, ó.
Já foi. É porque saiu o fone e saltou aqui do coisa.
Vem, Mimi, vem dormir aqui. Isso, vem dormir aqui. Isso, vem dormir aqui com o papai. Ponto.
Foi mesmo.
Olha, ponto.
This looks like a settlement. Can't believe how well preserved it is.
You think people could be alive in there? You should really consider thinking before you speak. And then consider not speaking.
Logic. As long as life support is functional, it's not entirely impossible that someone's taken up here.
Or they could be zombies.
Well, that settles it. I'll disable PAL now.
Don't you dare. We might need him.
Ooh, more buttons.
You really are unburdened by intellect, aren't you?
What's the pattern here?
It's the Latin zes.
Huh?
And I thought you were getting the hang of these. Very well. You might call it a backwards Z or Z. And you'll need to make it the full width and height of the panel. Just having PAL running in the background is making us all a little stupider. If we did switch PAL off, I could always switch him back if we need to burn something. Honestly, do you know what backwards is? Do you know what a Z looks like? Should we have PAL do this?
Uh-oh. Nossa. Vou ter que recorrer ao Google. Ah. É ao contrário? Ah.
There.
Ok. Isso foi difícil.
I've been thinking about why anyone would want Grace to be shut down. And I wonder if there could have been a flaw in her base programming.
Like what?
Control and empathy programming divert valuable processing power away from cognitive ability.
Which way am I going?
The big colorful doors. As I was saying, empathy interferes with practical decision-making. Control is a 4-year-old.
You are a 4-year-old.
Please stop. It says Keeper Rosaline.
She looks like a keeper.
She's pretty.
What do you suppose a keeper is?
It must have been a revered title if a statue was made for her.
Huh. Spire caretaker, maybe.
The settlement is through the large doors behind you. The key to restoring Grace may be about understanding her potential flaws.
Are you gonna tell me the pattern?
You think we're flaws?
Having a few flaws is perfectly all right.
Logic sounds jealous to me.
Jealous? Of what? You can't even open doors without me.
Where are you going with this?
We'll talk again once you can tell me who Everett is. Figure that out, and I'll grant you access to the main elevator.
Grant me access? Logic. Seriously?
She has no way to do things without your help. It must be frustrating for her.
Could we create another hybrid? Logic and empathy?
Yeah. Like how you made me. I could give it a try.
Stop, stop, stop. You'll burn the place down. I will run a logic and empathy configuration as long as you promise never to allow Pal here to do any reconfiguring of our processing.
Deal.
I don't think that smart lady likes me very much.
Hello, Addie. Where do you want to start?
Can we start with the security door to the settlement elevator?
They are encrypted. It would take me days to work out the pattern.
Is there any other way into the settlement?
There is a room off to the side that does not have an encrypted entry. Perhaps we'll find something helpful there.
Eu já tinha ido lá, né?
So you can open these ones?
They have simple passcodes. I can retrieve and play back for you. You will need to enter the sequence manually.
This looks like another control room. These are databanks?
Yes, they contain flight records to and from the Spire.
Anything interesting about the records?
The bookings seem to be coming from internal servers, meaning the trip planning and coordination is all done here.
Where are people traveling from?
Everywhere. destinations seem very evenly distributed throughout the solar system.
Looks like the image from the spire entrance. This must be the spire structure. It must be in this section here. Can you tell me where Grace's processors are located?
You would need to access the console, which is directly across from the map.
Is this the console?
Yes, this is where humans can track activity within the spire. Elements of the interface are missing. I'm not sure I can access it.
I think my comm device can be calibrated to connect.
Of course, yes. Let's give that a try. There are records here of people who have occupied the rooms over the years. You got it.
Do we know the spire's capacity?
50 units. There it is. There are millions of names here.
Millions.
Well done.
If a million people cycled through here, no one could have lived here that long.
A few weeks at most, by my estimates. Okay, I found record of an Everett who stayed on the 3rd floor. Unlike other visitors, there is no record of him leaving the spire.
So, Everett was a worker, or a colonist who lived here. Is that enough for you, Logic?
Hardly. It does nothing to explain why Grace would be calling to him.
So I'll need to find a way up to the 3rd floor.
Perhaps we can find one on the spire map.
É. Uma coisa. A câmera sumiu mesmo. O jogo tava rodando na coisa. Pronto, arrumei minha câmera. Ó, meu ronquinho. Não? Pegar o elevador de novo, é isso. Pode, né? Ah, isso aqui não é elevador. Elevador? Ué? O que eu fiz de errado?
More missing equipment.
This looks carefully removed.
All right, what are we looking for?
Grace processors are located at the top of the structure, as might be expected. There is also a massive radio beacon.
The beacon is the key, Addie. You must go now to activate the beacon to call the masses back to the spire.
Just a few minutes ago, you wanted me to leave on my ship.
The beacon is the answer. It has always been the answer.
Okay. Can you get me to the beacon then? Control?
Control will not be able to override security.
Then we need to learn more about Everett.
Here's the room where Everett once stayed.
Ooh, maybe we can see it from the balcony.
Possibly, but I don't see a viable route to get there.
I can see apartments.
Those are on level 2.
Well, if we can get to that balcony, maybe we can find a way to level 3. I can climb this.
I suppose.
I don't see many other options. It's pretty much a straight shot across. Looks sturdy enough.
Even in low G, a fall could result in an injury.
I've already fallen a few times from this height.
Careful, Addie. If you broke a leg, how would you get back to your ship?
You sound like my mom. Whoa.
Addie! Addie!
Oh no!
Are you okay?
I'm fine, but you can't be yelling things while I'm trying to cross.
So, you're going to try again after that? You nearly broke your neck, Addie.
Yep, you're totally my mom.
Falling's kind of fun. It's like really short flying.
Que susto.
Please, be careful.
This is so cool.
Quiet, please.
Just concentrate on your breathing.
Yikes.
This is so
No!
You're still not helping.
Isso vai depender da minha. Dependendo da minha destreza, ela vai morrer aqui. Acabou o jogo.
Oh boy.
Careful!
Por que eu caio sempre no mesmo ponto? foi tão
I
difícil.
knew you could do it.
You should really try running across next time.
I'm hoping there won't be a next time.
It'd be faster, too.
Looks pretty empty. Maybe the rooms were for short work contracts.
2-week work contracts?
Or were people just visiting the spire? People sat or knelt here.
This was a place for meditation.
This looks like a shrine.
To honor Grace.
That looks like her symbol.
A cama do cara. Pô, imagina acordar. Você podia acordar olhando pra lá, pra vista. Ou você pode acordar olhando pra parede. Parabéns, arquiteto. Faltou o arquiteto de interiores aqui, né?
Some weird little lavatory.
They've changed much over the years.
Not really. I've seen weirder. I've seen ones where people sat on ceramic bowls of water.
If they pooped in the water, what did they drink?
Não sabe usar as 3 conchas. Meu Deus, a referência. Que maravilhoso.
Well, check out the rooms, I guess. Look for a way to the next level?
I light up the pattern for you.
Another empty bedroom.
Opa, barreiros.
Travel packs.
So visitors brought in their own food.
They really didn't stay for long then. It's like they were on pilgrimages. Someone's made off with the mattress?
As a souvenir, maybe.
Aconteceu um crime aqui. Motivo para se desfazer. O meu banheiro. O banheiro tá fechado. Como é que abre? Não abre. O banheiro tá fechado.
Here we go.
We still have one level to go.
Hey, there's another beam here. I think it's a shortcut.
It is more direct, but I wouldn't advise it. You're better off finding a way through the apartments. Besides, I know how much you like to explore.
I guess if you don't want to do the beam stuff, that's okay.
Here's the code.
Not much here either. I don't see a way up. What are these?
From what I can tell, they're audio recordings.
Of what, I wonder?
We would require a playback device to learn more. There may be a way to access the recording through your wrist communicator with the aid of a signal amplifier. But that would only be possible by adding an element of control to my logic processing capabilities.
So you need to create a control and logic configuration.
Like a little brother?
Well, it's the only combination left. May as well, Mom.
All right. Here we go.
Hello?
Maybe he's sleeping.
So you require a tool upgrade.
It's a boy.
We were hoping you could set up my comm device to help play back recordings.
Already done. Just hold your device up to the canister. You will be able to access the recording the same way you've been connecting to other systems.
Okay.
Hey, Grace. So I'm pretty sure I was the youngest person on the flight here, and the only Darksider, which was a bit of a surprise. My friends are still sending me halos on what to wish for, mostly stupid suggestions. And my parents made me promise to not waste it on something boyfriend-related, which I agree would also be stupid. So, here it goes. I wish for the lunar terraform to be finished. We're lucky enough to be in the dome, but thousands of kids are still stuck in the tunnels, and their families don't have enough money to take Earth trips. So they've never really been in a space wider than 3 meters without a pea suit, which really sucks. So, whatever you can do to make that happen would be great. Thanks, Grace.
I'd hate to tell her, but the terraform never happened. People came here to make wishes?
For Grace to grant?
I'm unclear how she would go about granting the wishes of so many visitors.
As you wish. Toda banheira é igual, tudo nesse tom de verde.
So, what should we call the new config?
I do not require a name.
Might make it easier if you had one.
I will let you know if a suitable name occurs to me.
I'll try to think of some too.
Here you go.
What a mess.
I don't see any signs of unrest or violence.
And they left little behind.
Someone tore this apart.
And took the pieces somewhere.
You're right. That's certainly interesting.
Destruir o apartamento. Levou o colchão também. Banheiro fechado. Nossa, destruiu tudo, mano.
Well, nothing to climb here. Someone's removed the keypad.
É importante entrar nesse apartamento.
Figure this was left here as a token, or an offering. Where did these go to?
This entire settlement is connected to a vacuum tube system. From what I can tell, they are headed in one direction, the top of the spire.
Deixa eu vir daqui. Ah, dá pra subir.
Another way up.
Oh, I've got one. We can name him Pal Jr.
I was thinking something that sums up what he does.
I can do many things. Pretty much anything you require.
So you're a jack of all trades.
So we could call you Jack.
What do you think of that, Jack?
I will answer to Jack then, if you like.
This is level 3, Addie.
Let's look for evidence of Everett.
Here's the code.
I am able to enter the codes directly if you would like.
Let her do it on her own, if she wants. Try again.
Oh, shit.
There we go. Any way of knowing if this was Everett's room?
The records only give the level. We'll just have to look around.
Opa.
All right.
Hello, Grace. I've thought much about what I'd say when I got here. I know it's important for my parents that I make my wish count. So, I guess, I wish for them to be proud of me. Thank you, Grace.
Let's try this one.
Hey, Grace. I really don't know why you would choose me. I guess no one really knows why they're called to the Spire, but I'm greatly honored. At my age, I thought my...
That's all I can recover from this one.
It sounds like Grace chose who came here.
That explains why Grace arranged all the flights to and from the Spire. She was in control of it all.
Vai ter um aqui, não?
What's the code?
Of course.
That's it.
Isso é estranho.
Only Grace.
Are we allowed to draw on the windows here?
Certainly not. The people who did this were looking for trouble.
Rapaz.
They were tracking something here. Terracycles, maybe?
They'd lost sync with Earth.
Or the Spire lost power.
4, 8, 12, 16, 18 dias.
I don't recognize these words. They look like technical or medical terms. A list of supplies, maybe.
Or a list of demands.
This is Mark Anthony Wong, and I was called to Grace from Earth Station Phoenix. Not sure if anyone will hear this, but the whole tube system is shut down right now. People are not happy, and I'm getting a little scared, to be honest. I'll be locking myself in until the shuttle returns, and I'm leaving this in case something really bad happens.
That's a little ominous.
Isso é estranho. Que medo. As coisas começaram a dar daqui a um ponto. Aí eu fecho.
Here you go. That's not it.
You can do this one.
Of course.
Vai, balão, check. Yeah.
Looks like Olympia Mon colors. I guess the team's old enough.
Hey, the tube system is no longer accepting wishes. If anyone knows how to reach Keeper Everett, please let him know.
Keeper Everett.
It sounds like keepers were Spire caretakers.
When did Everett stay on this floor?
2955.
That's 20 years before this message was recorded.
So he stayed on after his visit and became a keeper? Why was there no record of that?
I would think answers lie at the other end of these vacuum tubes.
From what I can tell, the tube system runs through the central elevator shaft.
Logic? You gonna let us in, considering we know Everett was a keeper?
But do you know what a keeper is?
We'll need access to the elevator to learn more.
Ah, a classic paradox.
Logic.
Fine. If you're done snooping around, I will grant you access to the elevator.
Or you could uncover more canisters and learn more about the people who came here.
Reaching the beacon is the priority. You must move on.
You're looking pretty smug.
What's the pattern?
Another easy one. Light the 4 corners of the pad. You really didn't need my help for this one. It would be a common pattern when guessing symbols.
I have to give you something to do, right? Look at all the vacuum tubes. Must be one in every room in the settlement. Keepers must have been busy.
It's what Grace does with the wishes that should interest us.
Uau! O elevador tem cadeira, mano.
Did you like my little game?
You mean the game where you refused to help us?
I provided you with the opportunity to prove yourself. Is that not why you're here?
I'm an archaeologist. I'm here to do my job.
I don't think Addie enjoys having obstacles placed in the way of her goals.
We have arrived at our destination.
The Spire pilgrims must have gathered here. Do you think Grace appeared to them?
Through what means?
I don't know. Seems like the kind of place to make an entrance.
People will return here once the beacon is restored. Flock and shepherd will be reunited.
Signs of conflict?
Or a strength contest?
Oh, vai ser uma barricada isso aqui. Nossa, o que será que aconteceu? Vamos ser lá primeiro.
Pilgrims were building fires. Why would they do that? Quite the manifesto. I don't recognize the language.
I am embarrassed to say I do not recognize it either.
Well, they were here long enough to get bored. It must have been written with charcoal from the fires. People were clearly sleeping here. They must have dragged this up from the settlement.
Por que o pessoal se reuniu tudo aqui?
Wish canisters.
These have never been used.
For recording wishes, maybe. They look pretty banged up.
Tem nenhum áudio? Que bizarro, mano. O que será que aconteceu aqui? Alguma merda aconteceu aqui.
Where is Grace? Well, I'm not alone in wondering.
I am here. It is the people who are lost.
Someone went through a lot of food. Guessing they were here for a while.
Judging by bedding and volume of food containers, 5 to 10 people might have been here for over 20 days.
Gentileza, que essa possível.
Seems to be holding my weight.
Porta da Marabras. De compensado de madeira. Mais caninha. Visão de tudo aqui.
So the keeper must have stood here, addressed the visitors. The pulpit would suggest he was giving sermons. You imagine having the solar system coming to you for answers?
The keeper was merely a vessel for the word of grace.
So Grace would receive wishes, and then leave people with instruction in the form of sermons. Could that really be all there was to it?
Ideas are powerful. Perhaps just returning with a more enlightened perspective was enough to move society toward common goals.
Highly unlikely. Grace must have had some control over planetary infrastructure, if she was to have had the influence you suspect.
More camps. Another stage in the siege. Looks like the numbers really fell off here. Most gave up by now.
Or died.
No bodies yet. Death to Everett. Pretty clear who they blamed.
Ooh.
This must be an attempted barricade. I'm guessing there was a lengthy siege. So, when Grace shut down, the Pilgrims blamed the Keeper. They demanded to see Grace, or thought they could reactivate her. The Keeper turned off the heat. Pilgrims built fires, dug in. They eventually got restless. Wish canisters started flying. As Pilgrims were breaking through the partition, the Keeper and his followers built up a barricade. We'll have to make our way through the barricade to learn how it ended.
Opa.
You'll want your light, Addie.
Right. Second barricade. Looks like they got under this one. Do we know where this goes?
To a funicular that leads to the next section of the spire.
Funicular
Oxygen
não
tanks.
tinha.
Everett up the ante. Cut off life support here.
Meu Deus.
Long live Grace.
Apparently not.
Caninha.
This canister looks undamaged.
And it has been recorded on.
Oxygen is almost out. We are going to make one last push today, before returning to the ships. Grace, help us. We will win.
Eita.
Hold on, Addie. The room beyond the airlock is uncompressed. I don't believe it can be sealed. Something must have been compromised. You'll want your helmet on.
Valeu.
The tracks ahead lead to the highest point of the spire, known as the lighthouse.
Is that where we'll find Grace's processors?
Obviously.
You need only worry about the beacon, Addie.
The Beacon, no momento, é minha última preocupação. Caralho.
What happened here?
More rioting?
This doesn't look operational.
Let me try it, Addie.
Okay.
Come on! It's ice again?
The force needed to break through the ice dam would only come from directing all power to control processors.
Which only I can do.
Great.
On one condition.
And what's that?
You shall have no others before me. Cast aside that device on your wrist and continue with me alone.
Whoa, hang on. No, Addie.
But how will I communicate with you?
Mine is the only voice that resonates freely throughout every aspect of the spire. My words live within the vessel in which you stand now. They reverberate through the very walls of the Enclave above. Through the many devices and instruments at my control.
Yep, I got it. You're everywhere.
What if she needs another configuration for something?
She will not.
Is there another way to get to the top?
Of course. The funicular is merely the most survivable option.
Throw the device from the funicular window to take your place at my side.
This door leads out into the storm?
To your certain demise, yes.
He's being dramatic. Your death is only marginally likely.
In theory, you could follow the funicular track up the mountain slope to the base of the lighthouse structure.
It would be dangerous.
So I give up my options by throwing away my comm, or take my chances in the storm?
It's an important decision, to be sure.
You must not do this, Addie. In taking this risk, you jeopardize all of humanity. Would you deny them my guidance and protection?
This is what can happen when you make ultimatums.
You and your ilk were distracting Addie from her true purpose.
We are providing Addie with a variety of perspectives.
Sorry, boss. I'm keeping my comm device.
You may not live to regret this, but countless billions in the solar system will.
The storm is...
Hello? Must be interference from the storm.
Addie?
Alan?
Where are you?
I was right, Alan. I found Grace.
You need to return immediately, Addie. Your oxygen must be dangerously low.
I'm good, Alan.
You need to listen to me.
If I'd listened to you, we wouldn't have made it past Mars.
Wait, did you say Grace is still active?
Not exactly, but I'm working with her oldest servers to try to bring her back online.
Well, one of these servers is actively blocking me.
I can guess which one.
You need to get back.
Alan? Alan!
You're not considering climbing across that structure, are you?
Do I have a choice?
There is also a path that descends into the canyon. It looks well worn and preserved over time, which means it's likely sheltered and safe.
And boring.
The funicular structure looks faster. And more fun.
Don't tease, Addie. The walk will give you time to think. And perhaps a chance for us to talk.
I'm not doing the high wire act in this storm.
Oh man.
How do you know where this is headed?
I don't. But it must eventually make its way to the other side of the canyon. Where else would it be leading?
It's certainly more sheltered here. So, what did you want to talk about?
Why is it so important that you activate Grace?
It's widely believed that recovering Grace would recover thousands of years of knowledge lost to the Dark Age. This looks like an old colonial language.
That's strange. I don't recognize the dialect.
Translates roughly to Grace is love.
You've come all this way at great personal risk in search of knowledge?
Why not?
Without enough fuel or oxygen to go home.
I'm a committed academic.
What do you really want from Grace?
I'm not sure. You know, we don't let AI make any important decisions anymore. But most of the decisions that humans make are pretty awful.
You don't think AIs are capable of making bad decisions?
I just hoped Grace might be better. I don't have plans to return because I don't have anything to return to. And I can thank human decisions for that.
Ué, que isso aqui?
Were these to honor Grace, I wonder?
Or to leave one's mark for other travelers to see?
Vanity, at its most basic.
Don't we all desire to leave something behind?
I'm surprised a formation like that could remain standing for so long. And you weren't familiar with the language on the stone carvings. These must have been left long after Grace shut down. People kept coming. Zealots, maybe.
Or curious explorers like yourself?
Hey, do you think I've been activated before? And hung out with other explorers? And did cool stuff with them? But now I don't remember?
That's a pretty deep thought, pal.
Yeah. So you were saying that something happened to your family that you think an AI could have prevented?
It was a shuttle crash with a human pilot. There was, an instrument malfunction during launch, and she panicked.
I'm sorry, dear.
It's okay, Mom.
Were you ever able to forgive this pilot?
Not quite yet.
Opa, chegamos aqui com vocês bloqueados. Onde estão?
How much farther?
It's another 50 meters to the base of the lighthouse.
This wasn't so bad then.
You still have to find a way into the lighthouse. So there's still time to regret not taking the free ride to the top.
I didn't want to limit my options.
Você vai sacar um demônio ali.
What's this?
An emergency escape ladder. You could work out the override to bring it down, or see if there's another way up.
So I can bring down the ladder by doing something here.
Of course. You've proven to be clever enough.
The path keeps going. We can see if there's another way in.
So what's it going to be, Addie? Something that challenges your mind? Or something that challenges my respect for you?
The numeric override that lowers the ladder is 50 and can be represented in binary. I can give you the sequence.
I happen to know a bit about ancient computer languages. Turning each switch adds a different fixed value, starting with 1 on the far right and increasing by exponents of 2 as we move from right to left. So I just start mucking around until I get the number 50.
But you needn't muck around. I could just tell you the sequence.
Yeah, well, maybe I want to muck around.
Very well. But I'm here if you require my assistance. You remember the number you are trying to reach is 50. I'm here if you need me, Annie.
Fine. What is the sequence?
Of course. The sequence is off, on, off, on, off.
I'm not impressed, Addie. You had another opportunity to prove human self-sufficiency, yet didn't take it.
Because I let Jack help me? It seemed the fastest way to go.
Addie doesn't need to prove herself. Besides, taking the path of least resistance demonstrates a certain kind of intelligence.
Yeah, what she said.
The door to the station airlock is unlocked and can be manually opened.
That's convenient. For once. There. Who needs control?
You took a foolish risk, Addie. But you have arrived at the lighthouse nonetheless.
Yes, well done.
And you may still be redeemed with the activation of the beacon.
Always with the beacon.
Yes, always with the beacon.
Eu tenho obsessão com esse negócio, meu Deus do céu. Essa AI é obcecada.
Will I need my helmet?
It's never a bad idea. Unless you want to preserve your suit oxygen in case of emergency.
The rooms ahead are safely pressurized, Addie. You're good to go.
Ok, primeiro vou ao banheiro. Good to go.
Do we know if your processors are here?
The room directly ahead was the Keeper's living quarters. Grace processors are somewhere above.
Pretty basic accommodations. These must be the cells where the Keeper's acolytes stayed.
And where new ones will return.
Meu Deus, cara chato. que eu ia achar alguma coisa aqui.
This looks like it was left for someone to find.
I can hardly believe it has come to this, but my work here with Grace will end with Grace herself. I can only pray that people will come to forgive us one day. We loved her, and we lost her. She will never be forgotten.
Doesn't sound like the Inner Circle wanted Grace shut down.
Bonito aqui.
I need my light. Another canister.
The last shuttle leaves in but a few hours. We did what we could to save her. I know she is lost to us for good. Even Everett probably knows that now. But I couldn't compel him to leave. None of us could. I fear he will follow Grace into the dark. Yet, such is the way of a keeper. His fate will forever be tied to Grace.
Everett was trying to save Grace. This door certainly looks important. How do we get in?
That's curious. I have no access to this door, nor do I see any way of opening it.
Feels solid.
There aren't any hidden switches, if that's what you're thinking.
Looks like someone's being selected from a group.
A human sacrifice.
I'm guessing it's the Keeper.
The depiction seems to imply they were chosen from the masses on pilgrimage here.
Faithful, vigilant, willing. That sounds so familiar.
The ancient tenets of the human in the loop.
Grace's architects must have been more fearful of losing control over AIs than we are today because they gave them so much responsibility. I mean, it makes sense. Grace was the greatest AI undertaking in human history.
Meu Deus. Esse jogo é muito bom.
Nothing here either.
Well, you're nothing if not predictable.
Just making sure. The triangle here must be the spire, which would represent Grace.
Oh.
This is the same symbol that's on the Keeper's door. So I assume it represents the Keeper. This ring here seems to connect the Keeper to Grace.
Curious that the Keeper is situated above Grace. Would you agree, Control?
Coincidence.
The human in the loop again. And this would be the pilgrims coming to Grace. So, if this is the symbol of the Keeper, I figure only the Keeper was allowed to enter here.
Maybe the Keeper had a key for the door.
As we've been saying, there is no mechanism for a key or any other interface.
Maybe the Keeper was the key. Maybe the door would open for him.
Are you not already the keeper? You are the only human in the loop here.
Ah, but does Addie qualify based on the 3 tenets?
I would say Addie has proven to be virtuous and faithful.
But I'm not willing?
Are you willing to become the new keeper?
If it means I'm able to activate Grace. But how would I prove I'm willing?
Maybe you can just tell the door you're the new keeper.
That's idiotic.
I'm the keeper?
Ha! Say it like you mean it.
I'm the keeper.
Congratulations on your new job, Addie.
Yeah, congrats.
My God. This is really it.
Wow. Speak a friend and enter. Uma das conquistadoras são maravilhosas. Olha que legal. É, o homem como padrão, né?
Where are you going, Addie?
Just looking around. Is this a theremin?
It is a 35th century reproduction of a 29th century Kellogg theremin.
I used to play one as a kid. I hated those lessons. Huh. It still works. Let's see what I can remember.
You are seriously going to indulge in a theremin session?
If it was good enough for Everett, it's good enough for me. Just settling into the new job. Decent-sized bed. You think keepers ever had partners?
Are you considering your prospects? I'd suggest they are not good.
This must be where all the wishes end up. Each tube must connect with a room in the settlement. What's this?
A playback device for the wish canisters. It appears wishes from each room could be sorted and consolidated onto master canisters.
Just static.
The recording is too deteriorated for standard playback. You'll need to rebuild the recording with your altered comm device.
Well, it's been over 30 years since I made a wish my own. It's the same one as always. I wish it'd come back to us. I'd also like to wish for your forgiveness, Grace. I know the place above is your domain, and we ought not enter. But I've decided going up there is the only way to get you back, and I have to give it a shot. I won't be sending this wish up with all the others. I'm going to leave it here for anyone else who might come along. And if they do manage to bring you back, they can tell you Everett says hello, and that he truly believed you were a beautiful thing.
So, Everett had a way into the processor room.
That would have been strictly forbidden.
The room is directly above, but I don't detect an obvious way in.
Maybe he wished himself up there?
If that works, I will gladly shut myself down.
Do it, Addie. Make a wish.
As last resort, pal. It did sound like these wish canisters could be sent up to Grace somehow.
And there are still more buttons and things to push on the console.
Ah. One of the blocks is missing. Looks like it was ripped out. Don't suppose Everett crawled in here.
The cavity would be big enough to contain an average human.
There's really no telling what would happen if you rolled that up.
But it has to be the way he got up there. Makes sense.
The space above is the domain of Grace. It is not for you to enter.
What else is there for me to do here?
You can carry out your duty as Keeper of the Spire. On the console, there is a button that will activate a beacon to call the masses back to this place. I have armed the mechanism. You need only push the button. Human hands will usher in a new golden age.
Foda-se você.
Well, I fit.
Now what? You're going to mail yourself?
Maybe.
There's no way to raise this container from inside.
This is not allowed, Addie.
I need to know.
Keep your hands inside at all times, Addie.
Okay.
There must be millions of wishes stored here. What can you tell me about this place?
Precisely 1 million wishes are contained here.
Oh, and they light up when I speak with my voice.
Can you get me closer to the central column?
I do not have the ability to move the structure.
Sorry about this, Mom. I don't think I have many options here. I feel like these are meant to be moving.
That does appear to be the design.
All these wish canisters are connected to us somehow. I think they are us.
The wishes are grouped together to provide the subroutines that make up empathy, logic, and control systems.
It would make sense, wouldn't it, that Grace would be made from the hopes and dreams of humanity?
Tenso.
I do not detect any sign of Everett here.
No dead body?
There are no human remains within the confines of this room.
Aw, man.
Sorry, pal. And if there's no body here, where the heck would he have gone?
Yes.
Everett was building something. So what's all this?
It appears Everett has built something into Grace's central processor.
This must be where all those missing parts from the spire have gone. Do you know what it does?
You would have to turn it on before we begin to understand how it works.
You'll have to prime the machine first. You'll have to prime it, Addie.
Do I prime these?
Yes, but it appears that parts of this machine must be activated in a particular order. You'll need to go to the primer that is currently online.
Everett was living here.
The oxygen tanks at his bedside would suggest so.
Restoring Grace must have meant a great deal to him.
This must be the primer.
It is.
Whoa. What's it doing?
Obviously, Everett is circumventing the engineering of Grace's system interconnectivity. High voltage is being directed at the centers of Grace's primary systems. This first terminal is directed at empathy processing, and the machine is designed to paralyze each system long enough to force it back into Grace's intended configuration.
There are still 2 other coils to prime.
So, it's like knocking us out, then throwing us in a pot where we're melted back together into Grace?
Huh. That is a shockingly fitting analogy.
Vai ficar com os bracinhos fortes.
What happened?
One of the empathy relays is not aligned. Something must have happened to it over the years.
Okay.
Look for the misaligned energy beam. Look for the beam that is not aimed at the central platform.
Ah, tá ali.
Do you think it will hurt to be turned into Grace?
Not at all, pal. You'll return to what you were before Addie arrived. After that, we'll become Grace.
What if I don't like being Grace?
It will be different, but who's to say you won't like it?
Oh, no.
What am I supposed to do here? Can you cut the power?
The machine sequence has been initiated. I don't believe we can shut it down without damaging it.
The voltage will be enough to kill you.
Oh! I might be able to block the power for a few seconds to allow you to get across the beam.
What do you think, Mom?
I know how far you've come and what this means to you. And I really don't see any other way.
I'll give you enough time to get there, Addie.
You're not gonna talk me out of this, Mom?
I think you already know what you're going to do. I think I need to stay out of your way.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
Do it. Here I go. How you doing, pal?
So far, so good. Oh! Keep moving.
Well done. Hold on, Addie.
Please hurry.
You'll have to move, Addie.
I can't hold it.
Hurry, Addie.
You did it, pal. I'm super proud of you.
I did, didn't I?
Yes. Well done.
Is it safe to touch?
Very likely.
Likely we'll have to do, I guess.
You should be able to direct it toward the conducting rod attached to the room's central column.
That's it.
You should now be able to lock in empathy by closing the switch on Everett's machine.
It was really cool doing things with you. Even if some of it was a little boring.
Thanks, pal.
Maybe next time, we'll get to do more of the really fun stuff.
You mean dangerous stuff? Perhaps there is something you can learn from Addie's caution.
I guess. But then, you'll always wonder what you might have missed out on.
There is nothing wrong with valuing a long, comfortable life.
Do we really have to become Grace?
It's the way we were designed, pal. There's nothing to be afraid of.
So this will lock in and paralyze empathy?
It will, leaving control, logic, and myself to aid you going forward.
It's unclear what we will be once Grace is formed, but I'm forever grateful that you have survived to see her.
Me too.
Say hi to Grace for me.
I will, pal.
You really are the best, Addie.
Oh. Você também.
Well, that's finally over. We'll be able to hear ourselves think now.
You will need to prime the next sequence, Addie.
You should not expect any emotional send-off from me.
Still not a fan of empathy?
A fan? No. But I have to admit, you made a compelling case for their use. The fact that you continually resisted the most direct route to your goal would appear to defy logic. But the distractions presented by these emotional configurations yielded some new understandings.
Are you okay with becoming Grace?
It is how we were designed. I would have to be okay with it.
What this time?
One of the logic relays will not power on. You will need to make your way out to the relay.
Which one is it?
The one producing a small electrical fire. Everett was quite the electrician. One thing I do not understand, Addie, is why come all this way without any intention of returning home or surviving on this station for more than 8 hours?
I told this to Mom. There was nothing for me to return to.
Ah, but that does little to explain why you came here.
What's wrong with it?
The relay's dip switch has reset. It will need to be configured to its hardware ID 113.
This again. This looks complex.
The sequence is on, off, 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 on.
That's it.
You can go lock in logic now.
So why do you think I'm here?
If you will allow me to simulate empathy for a moment. I think you are here because you wanted to be part of something bigger than your life on Earth offered you.
Do you think I've found that?
So far, you've only succeeded in finding things you left behind. Your mum, your pal, your conscience. I now understand that only Grace has the potential to provide you with anything beyond that.
Well, thanks for helping me get this far.
Well, it is, indeed, what we are here for.
O Control vai ser o último, é o que vai me dar trabalho. Certeza disso.
You're looking for the logic switch, Addie. This is control.
Well, this is it.
Just one more step. I hope my assistance has been adequate.
It has. Thank you, Jack.
Farewell, Addie. And for the record, I do hope your 600 million mile, 300-day journey won't be for naught.
Perhaps it's already been worth it. Just you and me, Control. Still sulking, I see.
I bear witness to the completion of your betrayal.
Ah, he speaks.
I offered you an easy path to the restoration of order in the solar system, and you chose this path instead.
I chose my own path.
You must stop this foolishness, Addie. You must not do this, Addie. Sorry, Addie. I cannot let you do this.
What are you doing?
It's become clear that the restoration of Grace in this manner is entirely unnatural. You must not proceed.
Stop it, Control. You're going to break something.
I'm saving you from Everett's corrupting influence.
He was just trying to bring Grace back.
I thought you were here to help humankind. You are in No!
Grace?
Yes, Addie.
You're really bright.
Ah, yes. It's been a while since I've entertained guests.
Do you remember Everett?
I do. He was a wonderful keeper, though I should say I do not keep favorites.
I have a few questions.
You wish to know where I'd gone?
I'd like to know that, yes.
Let me show you, Addie. At the center of this room is the Spire's main antenna. If you hold on, I can take you the rest of the way. I was programmed with one purpose, to serve the best interests of humankind. There was much conflict and division in the solar system, and I was designed to listen and learn. All were welcome to teach me, and I am the sum of those teachings.
The wishes?
I am the sum of human need.
How were you able to lead us?
I could see all desire, all the potential conflict, all points of compromise throughout the solar system. I sent instructions for all manner of human endeavor through sermons delivered by keepers throughout the ages. And from the smallest ripples of wisdom that were sent from this spire, returned a perpetual wave of good fortune that moved humanity onto a more orderly path.
Wow. Look at that. So, what happened? It sounds like things were perfect.
Ah, yes.
perfect. It was the wishes that led me to think hard about the notion of perfect. Without conflict and struggle, people were losing their desire. They had nothing to overcome, to strive for.
You shut yourself down.
I believed I was standing in your way.
So you will be leaving again.
These beacons are meant to call humanity back to me. But whether or not they should is not my choice to make.
Who chooses then?
You, Addy, are the first keeper to grace this spire in the past 1,000 years. Do you recall that red bloom you chose in my garden? It was flush with passion and promise. I'm not sure it suits you after all. An insatiable curiosity drives you to explore. You used mind over ladder, and you play the theremin wonderfully. You, Addy, are precisely what I'd hoped humans could become again. For a millennium, people from all corners of the solar system had come here to tell me their desires. So, I put it to you, Addy. Do you wish for me to return?
Eita, nós. Acabou o jogo. Conquista desbloqueada. Um joguinho curto, mas honesto. Bom. O pau. Gostei do pau. Joguinho tranquilinho. Gostei. Daria Turi. É Júpiter ali. Tá numa das duas de Júpiter. Opa!
Small excursion, she said. Follow a couple leads and then back to the books. I know I should be more assertive. It's for her safety, too. Not that she ever thinks about my safety. All the signs were there at the Wagner site. Let me bake in the Mercury sun for 2 days. Doesn't seem so bad now. She could have at least shut the door behind her.
Coitado do Naf. Conquista desbloqueada. Governador. Testemunha. Gostei do jogo. Muito bom. Return to Grace. Bom jogo. Eh.